There's a friend of mine, a consultant, Greg Harden. We look at a lot of different products or a lot of different things, that we can do. And so we look at, say a book or say a course or something like that. And the question that's always asked is, how do we operationalize it? How do we make this into something that is repeatable? And so that's the question that we always ask. How do we create a system or a process that we can do over and over again so that we're not recreating the wheel over and over again? It's no different when you're looking at the financial operations or the finance operations in an organization. So it's one thing to say, okay, we've got our accounting software, and when we get bills, we're putting into the system. When we have to pay them, we pay them through the system. We pay our team, et cetera, et cetera. And that's like one component. That's the accounting or the bookkeeping side of this. But it's not the extent of where finances need to be managed. So the question becomes, what is the operation? So we talked about that a little bit, but why isn't it something that people talk about? And it's not talked about, I think, my opinion, because it's not something that everyone does. To say that not everyone that goes into business is thinking about their finances in a way that's going to really be beneficial for their companies. And it doesn't mean that everybody needs to go out and get an accounting degree, but it means that what we have to do is we have to go out and create standards. Whether we're working with a consultant or a financial advisor or someone like that, to be able to tell us the information that we need, or tell us how we need to set this up, or we go out and get the education, and we do it ourselves. The key, though, whenever we're looking at something like this, is understanding what questions we need to answer. So, for example, we want to increase our revenue. Okay. The question is, how do we do that? What do we need to do in order to do that? What other systems are going to be affected in doing so? So we're going to increase revenue, okay, which means that we're going to do more sales, which means that, hey, we may bring in a salesperson, or we may increase our expenditure in marketing, okay? So that is going to go into the cost column, obviously. But at the same time, we need to understand what else that's going to impact. So what resources do we need to have in place in order to support that future revenue growth? Okay, so if we're going from $50,000 a month to $75,000 a month, we need to be able to deliver that extra $25,000 a month of products or services. Okay, if we can't do that, then we've done nothing. We've hurt ourselves, we've hurt our companies, because our reputation is built based on the ability for us to deliver what we say that we're going to deliver, obviously within the time frame that we say that we're going to deliver it. Okay, and so it's not just the sales and marketing side of things that have to increase, but it's also the investment that we need to make in actually delivering the product and service. So this is where the financial model comes in, or the financial part of the operation comes in. The financial part of the operation says, okay, when this happens, then we need to do this, that, and the other. So when we want to increase revenue, we need to create a financial model. We need to create a plan in order to get the additional resources that we need in order to be able to deliver those products or services that we need to deliver in order to, going back to the beginning, get that increase in revenue. So this is, again, that financial operation is really, really critical in order to be able to take your company, what we might call, to the next level. One of the conversations that I've had this conversation multiple times with different people that are in the M&A space or in the business brokerage space, to say that if you don't have your books in line, and this, we're talking multi-million-dollar companies here, companies that may have been around for 10 or 15 years or whatever. If you don't have your books in place, this is the first red flag that companies look at. So if a buyer is potentially looking at your company and saying, hey, you don't have your books in place, what else don't you have in place? And so this is kind of, again, this is that red flag. But again, putting this, obviously, managing your finances effectively is critical, because other people that are looking at your company, that's the first place that they're looking. And so you, as a business owner, you need to have that same mindset. Okay, my finances is the lifeblood of my company. I need to be able to manage that. I can't manage out of a bank account. I can't manage consistently off an Excel spreadsheet, or whatever method you're using. That's not allowing your finances to be able to enable you. We talk about investing. Investing, as I'm brought up, is considered a tool. And we leverage this tool in order to increase our revenue. We make investments into parts of our company which eventually are going to give us a return. If we're not managing our finances, we can't do that effectively. We're just kind of like, throwing stuff out there and just hoping it'll stick. So again, financial operation is really critical, and it's really critical to have those conversations about what it needs to look like, what questions need to be answered, and how to build it. So think about that. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your feedback. Love to hear from you.